What's going on, everyone? Today, why did I back up? That was weird. What's going on, everyone? Today, we are going to talk about SEO settings in Webflow. What are some best practices when you want to make sure that your Webflow website is set for SEO, is ready to be found on Google, to be shared on social media, I have nothing else, but it's going to be just SEO, how you can work that in Webflow. We're going to jump right into it. But before that, my name is RR Abroad, and I work at Unfinished. I'm one of the co-founders of Unfinished, a full-stack web design and Webflow development agency that helps companies at the startup all the way to the enterprise level. Actually, I should start left to right. Startup all the way to the enterprise level. Build innovative and creative websites. Let's jump right into how we can set SEO in Webflow. A pretty basic tutorial. If you know how to do this, you might want to go ahead and skip this video. But if you are a beginner and you may not know much about SEO, we're going to talk all things SEO today. Let's jump right into it. This is a website that our agency created, actually all the way from UX research to UX design to the site architecture to the sitemap, and really just revamped the user experience for this website. It's actually was a really fun build that we're going to be talking about someday. A lot of nifty little tricks and little things, big things actually, that we help this with this company with their website, such as a get started flow, similar to what you see on like QuickBooks or TurboTax. I'm not going to talk more about it, but some things here. We integrated Stripe with Webflow. We integrated Affirm with Webflow, and we kind of created our own e-commerce experience outside of Webflow, but really integrated it seamlessly. Even created some sort of membership dashboard integration. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about that. If you want to learn more about that, I'll go ahead and pull in our developers so we can maybe do a live chat or a video, talk more about that. But what are we talking about? SEO. SEO is very important, of course, in your for your company website, and it all starts with page settings. Page settings, probably some of the most important things you can do as far as getting your pages ready for SEO. Remember, it's not really your whole website that gets found on Google. Google does not pull up a whole website. Now, sometimes it'll pull up like the home page, and then it'll show like your other pages as well on the bottom. And that's when like schemas and things like that come in. We're not going to talk about that. We're really just going to talk about basic Webflow settings for SEO. But when Google or when you share something on social media, it's usually a link. And that link really just covers one page. So when we talk about page settings, we're talking about the page SEO. So if you go to the page, and let's start with the home page, we're going to click the gear icon, and here are your SEO settings. Let's go down the line on how to explain all of these. The title tag is what shows up on Google when your page shows up on Google. So as you can see here, here's the title tag. Now this is your home page, so you're not going to have a URL setting here. But if you notice, if you go to another page, you have the slug. You want to make sure the slug is relatable. One thing that people don't know is, well, when you do type your name, page name here, it will automatically create the slug. But you could actually have a totally different page name and a totally different page slug. That's useful for organizational purposes. Have your page name be whatever you want, but the slug for SEO purposes, have it be something else, okay? And also you can have parent folders that will have, like, for example, get started or whatever, put it under a folder. Those are useful because it has your URL, and that can help a little bit with SEO. So let's go back to the homepage settings. This one obviously is the home. You can't have a custom URL or a folder. It's the home page. So here's our title tag. Webflow does give you some advice there on what shows up was the optimal title length. The reason why the optimal title length is 55 characters is because that's what that is what shows up right here before having a ... So you might want to make sure that your most important information, the ones that will attract the customer, is right at the beginning. Same thing with the meta description. If you go more than this, if I keep typing, notice it will start eventually do a ... right? So you want to make sure the most important information shows up there. And Webflow tells you what's the optimal description length. Open graph settings is what shows up when you're sharing this page on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, even when you text someone. That's actually the best way. If you ever want to see how your page shows up, literally text the link to yourself. You can kind of see the title, the description, and even the OG image is what we like to call it. This also shows up on Slack if you send it to someone on Slack or whatever. So a lot of times people just make it the same as the SEO title tag, same as the SEO description. I personally think that's already best practice. But if you want to make it different, you could just make sure it's unchecked and type your own there. Now, the Open Graph image URL, some people get confused with this. How this works is you want to upload an image. You want to design an image, and actually Webflow gives you the sizes, 1200 by 630. You want to design an image in Figma or whatever that is about that exact size and make it, honestly, a little bit kind of, markety, and that'll attract someone when you share it on social media or when it does get shared. Not just you, or if you have blog pages or whatever that gets shared around, you want to make sure that these look good and have it be its own image. What you usually do is you'll design it in Figma, go over to your images, and then upload it over here. Best practice would be have like an OG image folder, like how we did here. Notice we have different OG images for all of the different pages, and you upload that here. And what you do is you click the gear icon and you do copy link. And then you'll go ahead and go over to the page settings and then just paste that link. Now, some of you may say, that's weird. Why did Webflow do it like that? Why can't we do it where we just upload the image? The reason why, a lot of times on your website, you'll have the same OG image for many of your pages, for most of your pages. For example, your homepage, your company page, your contact page. A lot of times you're going to have the same OG image. So instead of having to upload the image every single time you have multiple assets, just pull it from the same asset, paste it right here. Very, very simple. Now, site search settings, some people kind of get this confused. This is not what shows up on Google. This is what shows up if you have search on your website. If you enable search on your website using the search element, this is the information that pops up. Best practice, just make it all the same. Search image, title, tag, description. If you don't want this included in the site search result, then just click this, exclude that. And then here are the custom code. In the custom code, you can do other things, because some people may say, oh, well, man, Webflow doesn't have keywords. Well, first thing, keywords is kind of honestly outdated. No one uses keywords anymore for SEO. But if you're working with a client and they do have keywords and they want to make sure there's keywords on their pages, it's really simple. All you got to do is go over here, type it up. I believe the code, I haven't coded in a while, meta, keywords, and go ahead and put it here. Business, valuation, buy this, product, whatever. You can add all of that here and it will show up on the head tag. If you have, let's say, you want the Twitter link over here, that I believe is OG. I'm probably messing up this code. If I am, I'm so sorry. Twitter source and then your Twitter URL, whatever code is that people want as far as SEO purposes on the page, and it's not on the page settings, you have it here on the head tag code. That's what's awesome about Webflow, is that whatever native limitations Webflow may have is pretty much unlocked because of all the custom code options that you have. So you can put that here. Sometimes you can also do what people used to do is put something like OG robots no index. If you have any pages that you don't want index, you can actually put that over here. So that's really it for the page settings. Let's talk about CMS pages, your blog pages, your articles, the template page. Now, what's cool about Webflow is they create it in a way where your content people, it's not going to take so long to have to set the SEO. We want to make it as automated as possible. So we'll go over here and notice how we have this set up. We have this Bizworth blog over at the end. The reason why I have it at the end, sometimes you may have long blog names, and the Bizworth blog is not as important as the title of the blog post. And then what we have is it's pulling from the actual name of the blog post, because you could literally add a field anytime. You can add any of the fields from your CMS collection and put it right here. And then you can even combine it with typing, which is pretty cool. Some people some people ask, oh, well, I don't want the name of the blog post here. I want to put my own. You can totally do that. You can add a field called SEO title and then have your own custom titles for your blog post. One caveat there you have to remember, though, if you do set that, every single blog post, you have to fill out that field, or else you're going to have an empty, it's going to look like that. You're going to have nothing there. So you want to make sure you do that. Personally, to be honest, just make it the same name. It's going to be so much easier. I know you want SEO to be important, but you also want to make sure if you're working with a team, if you're working with a marketing team or a content team, you want to make sure their job is really easy. Okay. So we'll put the description, and we really just have the description, put that over here as well. What you could also do here is you could combine it. Say you want to put the blog post of your blog. So you can put here published on, put a hyphen, and notice it has the date with the description. A lot of things you can do there. For the open graph, what usually people will do is whatever is the cover photo, you can go ahead and put that as well. If you want to make it a different image for every single blog, you can just create an image field and call it OG image or SEO image. Or if you want to make it, let's say we have here main image, I don't think we have anything there. So I'll just go ahead and change that to cover photo. Okay. And that's what shows up there. Now, one thing as well with CMS, you can actually input snippets. So you can put field snippets or these kind of whatever you call it in your SEO. So let's say some people ask, how do you do schema for your blogs in Webflow? Well, all you got to do is put a text field in Webflow and then put their schema and then copy the schema, paste it in there, and then you go over here, add the field, put schema, and now your schema will show up. Sometimes, of course, you'd have to put like I believe it's either script and then LD plus JSON or something like that. And then you could have your schema over here. So that's how you would do blog posts or template CMS SEO in Webflow. It used to be that for some of your template pages that you use for like reference or multi-reference, that you actually don't have any content. For example, if I click blog categories here, I don't have any content there. So what we usually do in these situations is we used to, keep in mind, I say used to, well, we did here. We actually, because this is kind of was developed a little bit before the feature came out, you would put robots no index. What this means is that you don't want Google's robots to crawl through your page, which is a very weird sentence to say, but that is the reality we're living in nowadays. So what this is, Google, don't index this page, skip, go to the next page, right? But now Webflow has a feature where you could just go ahead and click. Where is that? I thought there was a feature here that you can click it and then it won't show. Maybe, I think it's because I don't have a site plan. But if you have a site plan, see right here, or somewhere there, I know it's somewhere there. But if you have a site plan, you can go ahead and have it where Google will not crawl through this page. That's a new feature in Webflow. Let's do one last thing in the site settings, just SEO settings in the site settings, and that will be done. SEO settings in the site. You want to make sure you disable the Webflow subdomain indexing. You don't want to have multiple sites being indexed. So that should always be clicked. You can have your sitemap here. Webflow sitemaps are already really good. So actually, I usually just auto-generate it. But if you want to have your custom sitemap, you can totally do that. Just make sure, you just got to remember, every time you publish a new page or a new post, you have to update that sitemap every single time. Google site verification here. Canonical tag URL, make sure you put that right here. Make sure it matches your default domain. So as Webflow recommends that your default domain be the www, make sure global canonical tag URL is the same way. And then you would go to, I believe, integrations. You can put your measurement ID here. Google Optimize for like A/B testing, Facebook Pixel, Google Maps, webhooks, all that stuff. You don't really mess around with that too much. Maybe more analytics unless you make a super complicated site. Yeah, with these other things. But SEO here, and then integrations here. If there are other things that you have, let's say specific wide SEO things such as, analytics tracking, Google Tag Manager, Hotjar tracking, cookie tracking, whatever, right? Munchkin and all these things, you can actually just do it in the site settings. What this does is it applies that code to every single page on your website. And then if you go to publishing, that's where you would be able to set your redirects. Well, I hope that was a help. I hope I didn't go too fast. I want to make the video a little bit shorter to make sure people get every single thing there. Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any things you want to learn in Webflow. We are here to help you learn, help you navigate through the world of Webflow development and web design. We're going to have more tutorials coming up soon about Figma tutorials and UX design and web development, and even get into some more coding videos with our developers. So make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe or follow us on Twitter at Team Unfinished, or myself personally at RR Abroad. Hope every single one of you have a blessed day. Peace.